Okay, welcome back. Todd Svano here again. And just thought, you could call this brain science for dummies. Those books have done pretty well. Of course, they're not written by dummies, or they couldn't write the book, and that's kind of how I feel as well. The most valuable thing is I'm going to boil things down to the simplest and usable information. The first of four levels of the brain's control center is what I'm going to be talking about. And I've got a diagram that hopefully you can see just fine. And I'm going to first talk about what's called the thalamus, and that's that little blue part here. And that is called by all kinds of different names. The brain is so complex, but just think of the thalamus. I'm sure you're going to hear about that one again. What you're more used to hearing about is the attachment level. And so in the first 2 years of an infant's life, they have now shown that one of the biggest things they're doing is attaching to two ideally loving parents, and actually the two really makes a difference in the brain. Who feel like I'm glad to be with you. There's nothing more important in the world. That messaging, it turns out, for the first 2 years, sets that human being for life. They are much less likely to have any self-image problems, self-esteem problems. They're going to have, and it shows through white matter that is in those images of that infant's brain, that their brain grew differently. It's just amazing. But a few important things about that attachment happening in those first 2 years. I'm going to give a contrast. So my favorite example is if an infant is in a high chair, and they are in that stage where they throw their sippy cup overboard. And it's almost like an act. They're just had their foot cut off. And they need that sippy cup back. That's all that matters in the whole world. And the mom, if the child is lucky enough to have parents, or one parent that is very present, they're going to say, "Oh, Jimmy, it's okay," and bring that sippy cup back and pat him on the back. And of course, he's soothed. He quiets right down. He learns a ton, actually, about how to handle perceived crisis. Now, imagine, on the other hand, that mom has gone down to check the laundry, or just needed a quick little nap, like literally 2 minutes. Let's not guilt her on this one. She's just tired. And the sippy cup goes overboard, and now mom's on a different level of the house for a little bit, and the child is totally freaking out. Mom is gone. And what they find is, if that happens in a repeated manner, such as when a parent is not attentive, neglectful, in fact, or absent, that child says, "I have to get this for myself." That's how life is. And no one's going to help me. And believe it or not, they develop an addictive trait. It's me, and I'm going to plug the pain any way I can do that. This really hurts, and no one's helping. So they suddenly become less relational right at that point. So the thalamus is hugely, hugely important. That is the first thing that grows in a healthy way. I want you to know that sexuality and our feelings around that are very related. Who loves you, baby? Goes on for a lifetime, as we know from pop songs. It's the main theme. And then, who did I lose that I loved? We are so vulnerable, more than anywhere else, in our attempt to attach in a healthy, loving way, to bond with others that we know will be there for us. The security in life, the belonging in life, having a tribe, having a family that we know we can go back to, all of that is set in the thalamus, and that's in the very back of our brain.